Hello, everyone, and welcome to this new episode of Open Book Entrepreneur. I'm thrilled that we have Daniel here with us from North Carolina, and he is actually a coach, and he will introduce himself because he's got this really interesting and unusual niche.
Thank you, Tony. Hey guys. I'm Daniel, and I work as a leadership and personal development coach, especially helping gamers, meaning those that play video games, and really taking the skills that people learn in video games and using those as transferable skills into their workplace and personal lives.
Wonderful. And what actually inspired you to start this business?
Well, that is that's a fun story because that actually happened while I was working and working at like a corporate environment, working for one of these big Fortune 500 companies, and I did what you were supposed to do. I just went about my day and I was like, all right, I think I've been at this company long enough. I think I should be moving up that corporate ladder. And I went into the office and I went into my boss and I said, "Yep, I'm ready for a raise and a promotion." And he looked at me and said, "Okay, that's great, but we just really don't see your leadership potential." And I was crushed. I was defeated, devastated. And I went home and I was like, I just don't understand this corporate leadership thing. I'm gonna have to figure this out. And then when I was going home, I was actually playing games. Of course, I've been playing games as far as I can remember. At the time, I was playing an MMO, like one of these massive, like millions of players, online game. And I was the head of a guild, head of a raid that we were doing the highest difficulty content in the game. And around the same time, we ended up beating this super difficult content. We were, I think, number two on our server. So like of like the world, right? We're in this top 1% of gamers that have completed this content. And I'll never forget one of the guys, we're on like voice chat and everything, and he's like, "Daniel, that was awesome. You've been such a great leader." He didn't say guild leader. He didn't say raid leader. He said leader. And so it kind of stuck with me and it clicked. And I was like, wait a minute. Leadership is leadership. Like the skills are the same. So whatever this corporate leadership thing was, it was like, no, leadership skills is just simply leading others. So I started using that skill at the workplace. I said, all right, well, I'll just pretend it's a game, right? I'll just do what I've been doing in the game with some of my friends there and just doing it in this corporate environment. And sure enough, within about 3 months, I think it was, I did get the raise and got like, I think it was 20 to 30% raise on that and the promotion that I was looking for. And I attribute that to games. And I said, how can I help others? So eventually, with corporate, and it's just one of those situations where it just got more and more responsibility. And I was like, I don't know if I want to be in this corporate environment. And I was like, I use my gaming to help get myself ahead. I think I can do this for other people. And that's kind of where the journey began.
Excellent. And what's one of the tips you can actually share with our audience in terms of like how to apply this help from gaming into their business?
Yeah, the number one transferable skill that I've noticed from gaming is problem solving. And problem solving as a skill is in huge demand in just the kind of corporate environment because they want to get ahead and they have all these challenges and complexities to solve. And gamers were set up to be the best problem solvers, right? And I think gamers are actually potentially the best entrepreneurs because
Hmm.
all entrepreneurship is solving problems. And gamers, we're the best at it because we do it for fun every day.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you're talking about this, I have a very funny example actually that I'm thinking about, but I'm sort of sometimes playing one of these Candy Crush games and stuff, and this is over there. You also have to solve certain problems, yeah.
Mhm.
And
Absolutely.
then I think this really helped me, for example, being able to put massive amount of dishes in a dishwasher, comparing compared to other people, because I can just put them together and like make enough space so they all get cleaned. It's funny, but it's definitely something that the game helped me with. But that's like a little example, but I can imagine how many other things you can actually show to people that they can actually solve at work, or obviously I'm not sort of washing dishes for
Right,
for,
but
for work, but
absolutely. I
yeah.
mean, it can be the tiniest things, right? I've always been, a fan of the kind of level of efficiency kind of things. Like, how do I do the things faster or better? And I do this in games as practice, right? Any of these, especially these kind of factory simulator games, you
Mhm.
have little like conveyor belts going to the next thing. And then I do that just, in my personal life too, where it's just like, all right, I have to do like dishes, I have to do chores. All right, how can I do them as quickly and efficiently as possible so that I can get back to enjoying my time playing games, right?
Yeah, yeah, totally, totally. And this is really important because, sort of people forget a lot of times that there are certain shortcuts they can use on a daily basis. And I see this in businesses. I'm also coaching businesses. I see this. Once we apply certain shortcuts, it can make a lot of money for a lot of people, and then also it can save a lot of time and effort and stress and all these different things. So, yeah, great examples there. Now, in terms of your ideal clients and stuff, who are you usually helping?
It's the main target is young professionals, basically where I was like several years ago. It's the people that are they're getting into their corporate careers and they're looking to get ahead, right? And maybe it is those people that have hit that glass ceiling. They're like, I don't know how to move up, and I don't understand the skill sets or don't have the skill sets. They don't think they do. And that's where I can come in and say like, all right, well, and especially in the little caveat is, you don't necessarily have to play games, but it really helps. But if you have that kind of fun mindset, you're like, I like to enjoy myself, and maybe you've done like a little bit of gaming, cool. But especially the people that have played a lot of games, I'm like, okay, I know your skill sets because I have them too, and I can help you.
Great. And also, going back to the tips as well, like what are some of the games that people can actually play more that will help them with these skill sets compared to the others?
Oh gosh. The short answer is a wide variety.
Hmm.
But if I had to pick out specific ones, gosh, the some of the I guess the more well-known ones, if you've played like a Minecraft, right? That's a lot of creativity, but there's so much, you can do that that's kind of sandbox that you can play with, and just the amount of creativity and problem solving just in something like Minecraft is huge. If you've played Stardew Valley, it's one of these like farm simulator games, and that one does a lot of, teaching you again that efficiency, like how to get the most out of like your crops, as well as time management, because it is like, you have a certain many hours in a day that you have to do, and then your character has to go rest.
Great. And can you just tell us like how this can then be applied to business?
Oh, absolutely. The What's fantastic about the business and video games together is especially that kind of sense of limited time and limited resources, right? The companies are always looking to have that, how much value can you bring, how much productivity. So when those companies ask like, what value do you bring, what they're asking is really how much output can you do, what can you do to help in a certain amount of time. And video games like a Stardew Valley, like anything that is like time bound in a game, that's what you're doing. And so that's what I like to share with people, say like, yeah, if you're getting the most out of your time in a game, that's all the company's looking for you as a person, as an employee too.
Wonderful. And in terms of your clients as well, like what are the typical best results they're getting when they are working with you?
Oh, good. I have one client that had a similar, I guess, similar different situation to me, that it did help them kind of break through. So they, in a different avenue where I got, I moved up in my organization. I had one client where he was hitting, excuse me, he was hitting his glass ceiling, and we worked on this kind of, this mindset and this transferable skills. And he ended up actually, unfortunately, getting laid off. And then worked with him also in those ensuing, time between jobs. And he used these transferable skills when he went to interview with a new job, and actually got a higher position and a higher paying position at a new company, because of these skills that he, was able to transfer and then go into the job interview, go into the new company with, basically a stronger skill set.
Wow. Fantastic. Excellent. So, if someone actually wants to get in touch with you and learn more about what you do and connect to you, like how they can do that?
I think the best way is to, I guess, get on my website and my Discord server. So as gamers, we use Discord, and the links are on there too. Excuse me, but try so dragonmorexp.com. So that's kind of my gamer thing. So Dragon More X and P, right? Experience points. All one word. So dragonmorexp.com. And I actually have a little a little game on there too, like a little quest that they can go on to kind of learn the amount of and the level of leadership capabilities they have because of the games they play. And that'll help you get into basically get into my world and get on my Discord and we can chat there and go from there.
Wonderful. Yeah. So I can share this in the description of this video and description of the podcast, so that's really wonderful. And is there any question maybe that I didn't ask you that you would like to actually share with the audience or anything else?
Uh, Maybe not just a specific question. I guess, how powerful, right, can gaming be in the world? And because I like this question as far as like what is the not necessarily my clients, but what is the top example or what is a crazy example of gaming in the real world? And just a short story there is, have you heard of a game slash science project called Fold It?
Maybe.
Yeah, so because it was in the news a few years ago. Fold It is, I think, created by the University of Washington, and it's about folding proteins. And they basically gamify. They turned folding of proteins. These biologists, these scientists, took folding proteins and put it into a game format, and said, "We have this challenge," and I think it was an AIDS-like virus that stumped scientists for like 15 years. Right. So since like the 90s, I think. So you have to rewind. So this happened several years ago. So like back in the 90s, they couldn't figure it out. 15 years stumped. They put it into this game format and they said they turned it loose to the public and said, "Hey, can people help solve it?" And gamers solved it. A 15-year problem in 10 days.
Wow. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. That's amazing. I mean, this is such an amazing info. So, thank you very much for sharing this. Thank you all for watching and listening. If you find this interesting, like and subscribe. And then also, on top of that, share it with your friends and family. All the best and see you in the next episode.
Thank you.